Look, white flight developed in mid-century America uh, due to a number of different factors, due to violence in many of the black neighborhoods in big cities, due to the integration of schools that was ongoing, I guess first in the South, but then it went across the country. And also due to just the car culture, the highway system, and the just tremendous amount of wealth, and rising real estate values that was occurring in mid-century America. And although, I'm a child of the suburbs in many ways, and I liked my childhood, and I was in an older suburbs where we would ride our bikes around all summer and play baseball games and all that kind of stuff. So I get the appeal, and I understand how it can be a good life. I think there is with a lot of the suburbs that were developing by the 90s on, there is a kind of nihilistic, lifeless quality to these just endless cookie cutter houses, and a lack of community. These houses seem to be a place where you go to watch television. And not a place where you raise kids and have a childhood and so on. But I understand the appeal, but at the end of the day, it was about giving up these amazing cosmopolitan cities which we created. Detroit was known as the Paris of the Midwest. And New York City has many qualities that are fantastic, as Central Park, the Opera House, the museums, and so on. These are the kinds of places where civilization flourishes, and the suburbs simply aren't. And, I understand why it happened, and it's forgivable on some level, but I don't think we should ever treat it as anything other than just abject weakness, and this expression, this ability, this tendency of whites to kind of want to have their cake and eat it too, to basically flee what's clearly a racial problem, but then articulate it in terms of good schools and, I'm going to make a bunch of money on this house that I'm purchasing and so on, and just continually moving. And I don't think that will ever really end. And I would also mention, and I did an article on this about 5 or 6 months ago called Wexit, and these suburbs are becoming bastions of the Democratic Party. And you could even say this is liberal racism in another sense of that term, in the sense of people, mostly whites, but actually including other races, have basically escaped the cities, and they're living in these, synthetic pseudo cities that have qualities of urbanism to them, where they can pretend that these problems don't exist, pretend the problems of rural white, in rural white areas don't exist, and just kind of live in a synthetic reality. And I understand it at some level, but to think of it as anything else, as to be based on anything other than fear and kind of hypocrisy and an unwillingness to confront reality, I think is ridiculous.